Are you ready to grow? The Plant Movement with Willie Rodriguez of A's Ornamental Nursery in sunny South Florida is the podcast for those in the nursery business. Garden centers, landscapers, power growers, and plant enthusiasts. Willie is a passionate leader in the plant movement and has helped others grow their business into multi-million-dollar companies. This show will save you time, money, and headaches through top-notch education and by connecting you to experts in the industry. Let's grow. Here's your host, Willie Rodriguez.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. I'm your host, Willie Rodriguez, and today we have Eddie Gonzalez.
Hello.
Right here, ready to wing it with me.
How's it going, guys?
Guys, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have taken something from our podcast, that we are putting a lot of work, time, love, we're evolving it, and we're really doing something for everyone here. It's not just for me, it's not for Eddie, it is literally for all of us. I want this to become something community-based, big time for everyone in the industry, where we have professionals come and talk about all different niches, because there's thousands of niches in this industry. This is one of the most vast industries. It never ends, and every day, like today, I met somebody that walked in that he does moss things and planters with broken pots and like just cool funky things that he sells down south at like those little fairs that they put on in Coral Gables, which is in Florida, which is a city in Miami. So just very neat. It doesn't stop, right? I can deal with someone. I can talk to someone that's does 20 million a year. And then there's some guy that's starting out that's, starting out and having fun, being creative with it, bringing out the art and the creativity. So it's literally all over the place. And that's what I really love about this industry. Very good industry. But today, guys, I really want to talk about what 2023 has in store when it comes to the springtime. And springtime is a wild time, at least for us here. It is wild. And it's exciting. It is one of the most exciting times of the year for anyone in the wholesale plant community. So whether you are a grower, or you're shipping to, anyone around you, or you are selling up north to the snowbirds, and it's just a really wild time where a lot of plants move. Probably, I would say probably half of total sales. I wouldn't say half. Let's say a third of total sales happen in these 3 months. Okay. Which is pretty close. You would say a third would be 4 months, but it's a lot of volume that moves out, and that's just what happens. And it happens because up north, it's winter right now, so everything takes a hit. Anything tropical takes a hit, and that's normally what happens. Texas, we saw last week, had a brutal freeze to the point that people's power was off, and it's very sad. People's power was off, and they couldn't put on heaters, and there were people dying. Crazy. Yeah.
To that extent?
To that extent.
Oh, I did not even know.
Yeah. I posted it up on the Plant Movement on Instagram.
I seen you posted it.
It's literally crazy what happens there. So like, think about the plants. They can't make it through that. Right. So a lot of plants, they die off or they get burned, and people don't want to see that. You have a big shopping center, nice shopping center. You don't want ugly burnt plants. It just makes the place look, run down. Yeah. So if you have, you have to replace. Right. And that's just the reality of it, and that's why we pump so much. And also you have building going on, right? So when I look at all that, it indicates that we're going to have a strong spring. Right. We've had hurricanes come through Florida. We've had 2 of them. One was brutal, that wiped out a lot of the west coast of Florida. And then the other one went through the Orlando area, somewhere like that. The other one came into the east side and caused a lot of flooding. A lot of plants suffered from that, and also the rain. Plants don't like rain. At the end of the day, they do. But when you're a grower, when you're a grower, you want to control the water, right? So when you have 3 days of pouring rain, you're gonna have rot. The plants are gonna rot. They're gonna absorb too much water because they don't stop drinking. So you're gonna have to drench the plants, spray the plants, and put more money into them to try to maintain them in their state where they're at right now. So there's just so many things that go into my predictions of that. Then I drive around down here in South Florida and I see what's available. So you have a lot of nurseries planting new items. A lot of those, which is great. A lot of nurseries are stocked up, which is exactly where we all need to be. But not everything is ready. There's a huge shortage of a lot of different items. Okay, just to name a few. Green Island ficus, green arbicola. These are in the smaller size pots. Cocoa plum is a massive one. These are just a couple. The list is probably 50 or 60 items that you can only find them small. So now when I look at that, I look back to last year, the years before, the last probably 3 years. We go back 3 years where things were just, the whole market was shifted. And now I see that plants are going to be hard to find. They're going to be small. They're going to continue to get smaller. Like I had a customer the other day tell me, hey man, these cocoa plum are only 11 inches in a 3-gallon. And we have 3 buyers on board at A's Ornamental. So we know what's around, right? There could be a pocket somewhere, a little nursery in the middle of nowhere that has some, but then we're not moving, 50 plants.
And these are buyers that put their eyes on everything.
These are buyers that are out all day. I tell them waste a tank of gas a day.
Yeah, they're not here sitting in the office. They're
they're
out looking at these plants.
They're not buyers on a phone. No, they're buyers in a truck with a full tank of gas. Let's go. Floor it. Let's go. Put some miles on the truck. These items are hard to find. So I told the customer, I said, look, if you do not purchase these, it's okay. You don't have to. But if you wait a week or two and you think we're going to find something, or you can go call around all the nurseries if you like, they're not going to have anything bigger either. Because that's just the reality. So there might be a nursery that has something more expensive. Let's say 20, 30% more than what we sell it for. We'll call that nursery to just see what they have. Because you always want to offer something to your customer.
Exactly.
You don't want to tell them, hey man, I can't find it just because the price point that you normally sell it to them at is now it's going to be more, because now you're just closing yourself off. So you want to go that extra mile. And hey, these are 30, 40% more, even 50% more. Or they're double the price. But it's cheaper than jumping to the next size pot.
It's true. And it's what's available.
And it's what's available. But even that is hard to find, guys. So when I see all these different things, it's like, man, spring is going to be exciting. But for me, exciting is like, you feel the pressure.
Yeah, so it has been a trend for the last few years.
It's been a trend for the last few years.
Not to size, not to spec.
Yes.
And this is the third year in a row.
That we're
consistent with that problem that you guys been having.
Well, we see a slowdown, right? The summer months kind of slow down. Things start to grow. That if you follow us on Age, you'll see the stories, and I talk about how things are finally starting to get bigger. This was, 8 months ago, 6 months ago. Now the whole game is changing again. So you have to be on top of the trends. If you're not on top of the trends, guys, you're going to lose.
That's true.
Okay, so now I see that, and it's like
you're also seeing that slow season are still pretty busy as well.
Slow season has been busier than other years.
Than usual. Yeah.
But it also has to do with the amount of promotion and amount of things and amount of new people that we've met.
Of course.
It's not we're just sitting here twiddling our fingers waiting for someone to show up, right? We've implemented a lot of new things, which is what I think anybody and everybody should do.
Of course.
Right? Always push the envelope and don't just sit there waiting. There's no waiting. So when you look at all those things, and I see the high demand. I see a high demand. There's a lot of big projects going on. There's a lot of new roadways being created. There's a lot of construction still going on. There's a lot of people moving to Florida, right? I know this podcast that people listen all over the world, but in Florida, people are moving here because of the politics that the governor Ron DeSantis has implemented. People want to come over here, tax breaks for big businesses, all these different things. And also Florida has been, cheaper to live for a long time. Now we've seen that trend change over the past couple of years.
It's not the same.
Right? You're in New York, you're used to paying $4,000 rent for a house, and now you can pay, $3,000 or for an apartment. Yeah. And now you can get a house for $3,500.
Yeah,
it's a whole different world. So you have a lot more money flooding here. Plants have blown up, okay, all over. People, I don't know, it's trendy. It's cool to like plants now. Okay, before you were like, oh, who's that guy? He likes plants. Now it's like, oh, you like plants? Me too. And it's just
social media, dude.
It's just becoming more vast. Okay, so there's going to be a large demand for anything that's grown down here in South Florida, and there's not enough of it. And I see it because I'm dealing with it today. We're not even in spring. That's what I see. So like if you're a nursery, it's get your plants planted fast. Drench them with those root enhancers so they start rooting out faster. So they start growing faster. You know, put time into it, put love, buy the products you need. It's okay. Okay. With that being said, I feel like also we're going to see a different price change as well. I don't see it as much as when things shifted about 2 years ago because of the shortages. We don't have those shortages when it comes to pots, soil, fertilizer. Those industries have figured that out already, where you can get pretty much anything you need, you can get it. You might have to wait a little bit, but you can get it. The liners too, there are big lists of people wanting liners from a specific grower. That has to do with that grower growing really good quality product, because I'll go to another liner place and they're not doing anything close to the other guy, because the other guy is doing his due diligence, making sure he gives the best quality product to his client. And their starter plants, he knows that they're going to, some of these guys are going to finish them off 15 years later in the field or whatever, 20, 30-foot palm. It's going to take time to get there. So he puts a lot of things into it, which is Danny from from the Liner King episode, which I would love for you guys to go listen to that episode. He's a character and he grows really good quality stuff. The guy's booked. People that put love into what they do, they become, you know, I wouldn't say famous, but they become famous for what they do. And then there's even big boys after, you know, the space that he has to plant more for him. And he's like, yeah, I can't take any more. So that's something too. It has to do with the quality, right? Quality always sells, guys. I tell nurseries, I wouldn't say consulting, but let's say mentoring for a bunch of nurseries. And what some of these guys are worried about are things that you won't even control. And I tell them, guys, focus on the quality of what you do, because quality sells itself. Okay, even if you put an extra 20% of love, money-wise, into the product, you'll be able to get that out of it, because someone will purchase it. It's true. Someone will purchase it. There's always someone that is used to paying even more. Yeah, of course. Right? So you can't be scared to sell it for more. You know, it is what it is. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and jack up all the prices, you know, of everything. And now, hey, man, I didn't sell anything because I heard the podcast and Willie told me to jack up the prices. I'm going to make a lot of money. No, that doesn't work like that. Right? It's your market, your niche, and stuff like that. I want you guys to sell. I want you guys to sell and flourish during this time. I don't want you to, you know, jack up prices thinking you're going to become a millionaire. And now you don't sell half of it and it gets leggy or it gets whatever, and now you can't sell it, and now you're looking at us as, why did I listen to these guys? Yeah. So, but that's the reality. So everything is indicating that spring is going to be strong, right? And it's going to be exciting for people like, let's say, the broker product, where if you're a landscaper, garden center, you're going to want to listen to this for broker. It's going to get very hard. Very hard. I call that exciting. Anything I say exciting means that it's a problem that it's going to be exciting to conquer and go over, you know, that hurdle. Right. Because it is. And that's what's really exciting about spring. It's like, oh, people are like, oh, we're going to make a lot of money because I'll post something and people will give that money emoji. It's like, guys, it's not even about the money. Like, what are you going to have to go through, right? And wake up every day sleeping 5-hour nights, right? To get this done for 3 months in a row, 4 months if it lingers. That's what's exciting. Can you pull it off? Do you have the team? Do you have the manpower? Do you have the infrastructure? Do you have the equipment, the tools, the experience, the know-how, the knowledge? Do you know? Are you credible? Do you have your word, right? Is your word good or is it tarnished? All these different things. Do you have access to funds? Do you have money on the sidelines? All these different things is what I think about when I go into spring, because I know it's going to be wild.
Spring rush.
Spring rush. So now you're a broker, landscaper, garden center, and you're listening. And it's like, this is where it gets interesting. And the people that prepare during this time, which is when this episode airs, are the people that are going to really win. Okay? Because you can't wait for the order to show up and then go prepare. Because there's a shark, multiple sharks out there that they've been preparing. And now when you go out there, it's not available. And if it is, you got to pay more money for it. Because someone else went and either grabbed it or they had someone contract grow it. So when you show up to the nursery, like, oh my God, there they are. There's 25,000 there. Oh, they're all sold already, pre-booked. So if you're preparing now, there's still time to prepare, but you're a little late. In all honesty, we're in February. But you can still prepare because spring is 3 months.
And when do you usually see the most activity starting? April? Or just March?
March, April, May are really what the months. For the people that sell up north or the chain stores or anything like that, Texas, you'll see that whenever the cold leaves.
Oh, as soon as it leaves.
Yeah, whenever cold leaves is when people start to purchase, because it makes no sense to start bringing things in, even though it's technically springtime, but then you have another cold front that comes through and burns everything that you spent. Because there's garden centers, they'll buy $500,000 worth of product to stock up their garden center for spring, and now boom, another freeze comes and kills everything, and now what happens? Right. Now you lost $500,000, right? Which it is what it is. That's part of the game. That's the school of hard knocks, is what I call it.
It's true.
So if you are a broker, it's like know where your stuff is. If you're a landscaper, it's see what I have up and coming that I maybe have deposits on, or I don't have deposits on, or maybe you're a freelance style landscape architect, designer, whatever, where you can implement whatever you want and you can go and use whatever's available. I like mentoring the landscapers that purchase from us, that I build relationships with. I love for them to get a holding area. So wherever you park your trucks, depending on the size of your fleet, it's like, hey, maybe instead of renting, space at a warehouse, at a public storage or something like that, maybe it makes sense to go try to rent half an acre. Sure. Go rent an acre. Right. And then now you can park your trucks. You have storage. You can put some containers there. Put the expensive stuff that you can't, the smaller items in a container with a bolt lock. And then now you can set up irrigation where you can put, and you don't have to spend a lot of money doing this. And now you can buy items and have them there. That's what I love. We at Ace Ornamental, we have a holding area. We have holding areas in 3 locations where we can get your order and consolidate it, leave it in one section, whether it's shade or sun, it'll go wherever it needs to go. And boom, now you're ready for 60-day away install. Everything's already done. And now they have 60 more days to grow. So now when you do that install, now everything's beautiful. So for you guys that are on Instagram or on TikTok and you're posting, right. And then other landscapers like, man, how did they get that product? Right. Where did they get that product from? It's because they were preparing. Yep.
And you can pre-book.
And then from there, someone that's skimming through Instagram, let's say a customer, just to give you guys an example, they see 10 different installs, and then they see yours, and they're like, oh, man, this guy has nice stuff. Yeah. And maybe they DM you, hey, when'd you do this install? No, I did it 2 days ago. Oh, perfect. And everything was nice like that? Yeah, everything was beautiful. Perfect. Hey, you're the man. Mm-hmm. Boom, come to my house. And there you go. And it could be something as simple as that.
It's true.
As a garden center, it's being stocked up. It's knowing what's around. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that all has to do with how much work you put in, how much love you put in, and really who you have as a part of your team. Yep. Garden centers, just for you guys that don't understand what a garden center is look at it like Home Depot or like on the Paul Jameson podcast, like Lowe's, right? So basically, everything gets purchased and they flip it. They're like massive brokers with a holding area that you can decorate and make it look however you want. And you can bring 1,000 different things, from mulch, rock, to palms, to trees, to little plants, everything to interior, exterior, whatever it may be, you can have right there. Yeah. So garden centers is like, guys, you have to prepare. The spring's coming. And if you've been purchasing stuff, stuff is getting smaller because you're a garden center and you move, some type of volume. It's like, hey, okay, how many do I think I'm going to sell? Hey, Johnny, pull up what we sold last year in Green Island Ficus. Oh, we sold, in springtime, we sold 15,000 or we sold 5,000, whatever the number is, whatever the plant it is. Boom. All right, listen, we sold them all and we were short last year, right? All right, let's bring in at least that. Right. Let's see where we can lock them in. Right. And then you go to different sources or you use somebody like what we do at Ace Ornamental. Sorry to keep bringing it up, but it's the reality. It's what I do for a living, guys. So, and now you have eyes and ears, on the ground. Right. In a different part of the state or in a different part of the United States or the world that can put their eyes and ears, and you go building confidence with this person or with the team, and now that's how you're able to execute. Right. Okay? Well, we had last year, just to tell you guys a little bit about it, last year we service a bunch of garden centers. Some of them are bigger than others. And the big boys, we would always have these conversations because I talk a lot with our clients, and they have money on the sideline. Everyone has money on the sideline. Right. No, bro, I'm waiting for the recession to come. It's like, okay, well, here, I have something for you. Plants are getting small. There's not going to be anything available. what's going to be available is going to be more money, because that's when the price hikes were happening. So I told them what's on the ground right now is still cheaper than what it's going to be on the next turn. I think you should empty your pockets. Okay? I really think you should empty your pockets, and whatever you can spend or whatever land you have, I would stock it up to the roof. And I really think you're going to sell everything. So what happened? They didn't just sell everything. They sold everything multiple times. Okay? One customer sold an extra $350,000 in 1 month. An extra $350,000 in 1 month. Okay, so what happened on the outskirts? So now you have someone that is vigilant, someone that's hungry, someone that knows what's going on. They see the bigger picture because they have a special someone telling them what's going on. Right. So now they did that. So now the competition, let's go to the competition and what happens when you're vigilant and you pay attention and you pull the trigger. The competition was waiting to get their items sold that they currently had and to bring in other stuff. They weren't preparing. And this is a lot of different garden centers that do the same thing around. So their customers would show up, hey, do you have this? No, I don't have it, but I can get it, but they're 8 inches. Oh, they're really small. Yeah, they're really, really small. Okay, so now they go down the street to this nursery that's now packed with customers. They show up, everything's beautiful, everything's big, everything's up to size, everything's gorgeous, everything's bigger than everyone else around. Now that one guy lost the opportunity with his customer. Now my customer was able to now monopolize his little circle in that area and have what his customers needed and what the other customers for the other people needed. Now picking up every customer, getting big accounts, bright future, crazy. And this is a customer that when we first met, he was like at 1.5 mil in sales. And I think last year he cracked, 5.5 in 4 years. In 4 years. No, that's wild. Mm-hmm. And that all has to do with who you are as a person, how much money you have to play with, and who's really on your team, who's in the background, making moves and trying to make it happen. Yeah. So that's really what that was. But that was pre-booking.
Not only that, you're also seeing what's going on. I mean, you have your eyes on absolutely
everything down here.
Yeah, so you know what's going on. You know who has what. What's to size, what's not to size. You could actually give them the right intel.
Yeah, no, and growing things for people.
Exactly. You're a nursery.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know what you have, you know what's coming in, you know what you're growing, and you could give him that information so he could prepare better.
So, like people, I know, and I'll talk about this. Everyone, you go on social media or you go on anything, and it's like, a lot of stuff is recession, a lot of things that the world is coming to an end, right? Which I am prepared for that, right? But I stay focused in what I got to do. And I don't pay too much attention to it anymore because at the end of the day, what can we really do? So you go online and you see, hey, the real estate, get this, get that, yada, yada, yada. Imagine you invest $100,000 into stocking up, let's say you have $100,000 on the sidelines. You put that $100,000 right now into pre-booking stuff, and preparing for what's to come for the next 3 months, which I think they're going to be very, very strong for a lot of people in the industry. Mm-hmm. And now you can turn that 100 being a garden center into 150, 180, 200, and you could do it in a month, in 2 months. So I don't know what else you can put your money into, guys, that'll do that. Right. And at the end of the day, the number one thing that all of us need to be investing in is in ourselves. Right. Better mindset, clear mind, healthy, what you eat, good relationship at home with the wife, with the husband, with your partner, with whatever it is in your business, making it as efficient, as fast, as serviceable, the beautiful product, coming through. Well-rounded, balanced everything. Exactly. That's what you need to be investing in. Paying off credit cards that you're paying 25% interest. While you're doing that, throw that away, get that out of get that away. Right. That's what you could do with your money today. I know people that I've talked to them, $50,000 on the sideline, but they owe $30,000 in credit card. I'm like, guys, what? What are you doing? If you have credit card debt, you should pay that off because you're instantly killing 25% or 30%, whatever your credit card is, 17%. Yeah, you don't have to pay that anymore. And you should do it if you're a small company, obviously, or personal use. But it goes to that. right? So these are all analogies that I've told you. These are all stories, right? That you guys need to implement them into your life and how you could do that. You know, if you're a broker, maybe a holding area might be it. There's a lot of nurseries out here, not all of them, but some of them you can be like, hey, I want to pre-book 1,000 of this. Can you give me 30 days to get it out? Depending on who they are, they might say yes. Some people might want to charge you a little bit more to do that. It is what it is. That should push you to the next step. Well, what is the next step? Getting a holding area, getting an area that you can bring in stuff that you find around town, and now you can put it in one location, and now you have it. Right? So that's really what it is. Preparing for a big movement, because that's what I feel that we're going to see. And it's not a big movement for everybody. It's a big movement for the people that have those common items that move. You can have a bonsai nursery, let's say, something where you have particular things. You're not going to feel that movement in spring. You might sell a couple more items. This is me guessing off the top of my head.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just saying, because it's not that common, those common items. There's a reason why you drive around. Let's say if you guys ever have the opportunity to come down here to the Redlands over here in Miami-Dade County in Florida, you'll see that there's a lot of nurseries and a lot of things are repetitive. Just like you go to a trade show and you'll see a lot of people that have the same items in all the booths. Those are the number one sellers. Those are the things that people use.
To as the people into the more landscaping, the
landscape industry,
more landscape plants.
You know, like look at so last year interior slowed down, but if you look at interior, where does a lot of interior stuff end up? It ends up to it goes through retail. Okay, it's not really that wholesale. There are wholesalers that sell to retail, but at the end of the day, the end consumers retail in the ones and twosies. You know, it's not landscapers doing a big landscaping, or it's not a big garden center supplying landscapers, or you know, having people come and spend $5,000 in plants.
It's not an apartment complex. Or
it's different. It's more that Etsy, that eBay, that website. You sell a box with 3 plants in it, stuff like that. That goes to that end retailer, and that market took a hit. You know, we saw stimulus was finishing, all these different things. People were figuring out life, and they didn't have money to buy plants. The Walmarts, the Lowe's, the Home Depots, places like that, they didn't have that massive volume. Okay, which they should now in spring. We won't see it here in Miami, but you'll see it in.
Hopefully, we could get somebody on too that could, you know, maybe specify.
Yeah, if any of you guys are down to come on and talk about anything like that, we'd love to get more of that knowledge, because at the end of the day,
more of that background,
because that's what we all need. That's what we want. That's what you guys tune in. You guys tune in to grasp something. You're not sitting here listening to a 30, 40-minute episode to not get nothing from it. I want you guys to get something every single time you turn this on.
We would love to hear somebody change Willie's mind.
100%. Yeah, if you guys disagree.
If interior plants are still booming, let us know. We would love to have you on and you talk about it. You know,
I've talked to a lot of people, guys. I talk to a lot of people. I'm privileged in that way that I can talk to a lot of people. And I have I've had those people open up in ways and talk to me because of the questions that I ask them, and that's the trend, that things were not what they were supposed to be. Also, there was a lot that, you know, the indication and what they thought was that the boom was going to continue going. I felt that it was going to slow down. You know, I don't know. That's just what I saw. That's what I saw. Exactly. You know, and that's what I thought. And you can go back and listen to the 2021 recap. You can go listen to the 2022 recap on the podcast, and you can hear what I was talking about then. You know. And this is all just based off what I see. Things can be 100% different. Again, whatever market you're in might not boom at all. You know, like the guy that was here that just showed up. I was talking to him about this, but he does, you know, he'll buy 5 orchids and make a beautiful arrangement with it. He's not gonna feel anything different, you know. But I am driving around, I see people from Texas tags. I'll see people with Georgia tags, New York tags, New Jersey tags. All driving around here in their Dodge Rams and all these. What are they doing, guys? They're preparing. Too, no. No, those are owners of big places that need to make sure they have what they feel they're going to need. They're smart. They're preparers. That's what they are. They're preppers.
Preppers, there you go.
Okay? They're preppers, and that's why they're down here. So the people in Florida, let's say like my market, that takes a toll on what I'm going to have left to get for my clients. because there's people from all over coming, and they're not coming with a $10,000 checkbook. These guys are coming with $1-2 million checkbooks, maybe even more, just to have everything done. There's people with garden centers that have 12 locations. How much money do you think they're going to spend down here? 5 mil, 10 mil? This is the reality. You can go down on Instagram at the bottom of A's Ornamental Nursery. If you follow us on Instagram, go to the bottom. We left those posts there.
Yeah,
this was in the crazy boom. This is when we first started, when I first started even attempting to film myself on for social media. Right. And you could just listen to how crazy it was. It must have been, I don't know, $50 million I predicted a day was coming out of down here. You would go to all the big nurseries and there's 50 semis waiting. I know how much that product costs. I know how much they can stuff in a semi. Yeah. So it's like, man, this is wild. Yeah, this is crazy. And then knowing what I was selling, me being a smaller guy. Right. And it's like, dude, this is wild. Right. And price hikes and shortages and am I going to get it? Am I not? Look, we went to a nursery the other day. The buyer's standing there. He's like, Willie, I'm here in front of the Green Island. There's 5,000. This was last week. He's like, 2 people just showed up. Just buy them, bro. Just buy them. Buy them all. Because I'm preparing. I know that that's an item that's going to sell. It's an item that's hard to find. And I'm not going to wait around, right? I have to come through for my clients. And so do you guys. You have to come through. You want to say yes when your customer calls. Hey, do you have this? Yes. Or, hey, I don't have that exactly, but I have it in this size. Or I have the cousin of this plant that grows similar, but it has this same color. Boom. All right, perfect. Bam, bam, bam. And now you're making deals. You're making things happen. Right. You want to tell them yes. And the only way you can tell them yes is if you are doing what you should do. Think about all the people that depend on what you do. I think about all those people when I go out there to go buy things, or when I'm buying liners, or when I'm growing liners, or what are we going to do for next year? We're going to do 50,000 of them. We're going to do 100,000. What are we going to do? Right. Based off of what I feel my clients need or anyone that calls. Of course. I want to be the guy that says yes, not the guy that says no. Of course. Because that's how you build reputation. That's how you come through. The other guy, they're still waiting for a phone call. And here we, back to see if we had them. Here we have them loaded on a truck being delivered. Yeah. Fast. Let's get it done. Yep. Let's tell them yes. Yep. That's how I feel things should be. Mm-hmm. So,
and also something that you have that gives you also a lot more credibility that we've said before, but you've been your whole life in this industry. Like it's what you're saying, and your excitement in regards to what happened these last few years is coming from a person that's been in this industry since he was a little kid. Yeah. Seeing his father with his nursery business, and now you're in it and you've seen a boom that's never been seen here before, like from 2020 to what it is now.
No, it hasn't. These years have been crazy, guys. And for you guys that have been in this industry, you know how it is. The norm hasn't been normal. Mm-hmm. Here we are. The winter was great. Winter, we sold a lot of product, and it's like, man, you're not supposed to sell in winter, but but people they're obligated to get things done, so it doesn't matter. Let's go. Right. Let's get it done. Hey, if some plants die, I'll warranty it. It's okay. It's all right. Right. People are able to make more money. Of course. That's another thing too. The landscapers are charging 3 times the price of the product. 2.5, 3, 4, depending on your market, depending on where you're at. So there's more money for people to be able to do more. Right. Right now there's a quote that somebody sent me, and it's like it's a $60,000 quote. Mm-hmm. And that's wild.
This is a premium market.
No, it's not just so much a premium market, but there's people with money that want to spend.
Right.
There's $500,000 landscape jobs being done right now. There's $1 million landscape jobs being done right now. Yeah. There's projects, guys, that are $500 million right now in Florida. Right now. Look at the West Coast, all the damage that was done there. Right. I got wind of one of the counties. I can't tell you guys much. If you know who I am, I keep things private. You can tell me the worst of the worst, and I'll keep it to myself. $2.4 million contract for one of the islands, or not an island, but in a coastal area. Okay. Right off the beach that was hurt from Irma on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. That's the contract. 2.4 to do the common areas, the county. That's what it is for 1 year.
That's the budget.
That's the budget. And that's what the proposal is, and that's what this person is getting. Okay, so and that specific person is going to 10x what they did the previous year.
Of course.
Just with that, there's a that's what it is. So there's opportunity like crazy. You don't have to wait for the recession to be here. If let's see when the actual recession shows up. Guys, you don't have to wait for a recession. You don't have to wait for 10,000 foreclosures in your neighborhood to do something. You could do something today, especially if you're in this industry. This industry is thriving. This industry is at full throttle if you are growing the right product and you grow nice product. If you're a grower, if you're a landscaper, it has to do with the work you do. How good are you? Do you answer the phone? Do you not answer somebody? If there's a problem that occurs, do you take care of it instantly or you leave the text unread for 4 days? All these different things indicate to what you're going to do this spring, okay? Garden center, you have money put on the sidelines. I'm not telling you to empty your pockets, but spend the money wisely. Think ahead. What am I going to sell? Look back at your numbers. Today, there's QuickBooks. There's things like that you can use that are tools to indicate what you did previous years, what margins you had. There's graphs. They show 10,000 different things. That's what we use here, and I love it. Right. So it's easy for me to go back and see what I got to do or whatever if I forget what number it was. Hey, was it this number or that number? Oh, let's look back. Boom, it's that number. Done. All right, perfect. We're going to do that number, maybe a little bit more.
So you should be running your business.
Not that my business is ran 100% correct, but it's ran pretty good, you know? It's efficient and we can make things happen and the customers keep calling. So if customers keep calling, that means we're doing something right. But for you guys, it's just the due diligence, guys. Right. Now is your time to shine. Now is your time to not be scared and spend money, buying things, bringing things in, holding things, because that's what's really going to make or break your spring. If you're a grower and everything's small and you're putting things in the ground now and everything's going to be small come spring, you're going to sell everything. I'm pretty sure you will. You will sell everything because all the bigger things will run out. And then people will have no other option but then to buy the smaller items. So you will see that because I feel like that's what we've seen before, and I feel like that's what we're going to see again. I'm selling 9-inch cocoa plum in 3 gallons, 6-inch Green Island ficus. And that's just what it is. I don't want to sell that. I want to sell something that's 3 times as big, but where are they? And then I grow them myself, but I'm not going to turn down a sale to wait for a plant to reach 24 inches to sell it for what? $1 more? I can turn it twice. So it makes more sense to just get rid of it small. If the customer says yes, okay, it is what it is. Let's go. They said yes, they approved. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get it done. Right? Because at the end of the day, we're a business. We are here to, have fun, live a purposeful life, but also make money because the business doesn't. People don't just show up. The employees don't show up they won't show up on Monday if I don't pay them on Friday. They're not here to see our faces. They're here to make money. So that's really what it is. And there's opportunities to make a lot more money during the spring if you are vigilant and you're paying attention and you're not holding back on, let's say, the funds. At the end of the day, guys, I look at money as a tool. Like, I'm excited. If someone told me right now, hey, Willie, I know where there's 100,000 Green Island ficus in 3 gallon and they're going to be gorgeous and they're for sale right now at this price, I will be so excited to release funds. I will be calling, if I don't have the money, I will be calling people with money and asking them to give me money so I can go purchase this out of excitement because I know that the turnaround is going to be there and I'm going to be able to do it. So why would I want to hold my money in my pocket? I don't want my money in my pocket. Money in your pocket doesn't make you anything. It just gives you, a shield, let's say, and you feel secure. But in all due respect, guys, you never want to feel secure. You want to feel like you're broke all the time. You want to feel on edge because that's what keeps you going. Because if not, you get complacent and you're like, all right, dude, I have 100 grand here, or I have 20 grand, or I have $500,000, I have $1 million. I'm good, man. I paid off this, I paid off that. I'm good. I don't have to do anything else anymore. And now you're chilling, which is fine if that's what you want to, pursue. But not everybody wants to do that.
Yeah, and then
what are you looking at?
Some of the predictions was the same boom but harder fall end of year.
Oh yeah, so we did a poll
based on the poll, because this is what this episode is about. It's based on this prediction, like what are your spring predictions, and that's what Willie was trying to do. And just going based on that, looking at some of the predictions, some people said it's going to be the same boom but harder fall end of year. So you believe that?
So that person that did that, He's in landscaping. He does tree service and all these different things. Really good guy. I asked him, but he never responded. He responded, he said, for a lot of different things, but he didn't say why. Gotcha. I don't know. Obviously, there's going to be not a harder fall, but it should be slower because it's not spring anymore.
Spring? And what about the things you've sold? And if these things were small during spring, what are they going to look like during fall?
Yeah, no, I think the rest of the year, at least for our industry, I think it's going to be solid throughout the rest of the year, unless something crazy happens that we have no control over. That has to do with the world,
right. That's true.
Different governments, butting heads or whatever it may be. All that fun stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Right. Another person said, I know it's going to be another banger season.
Yeah, 100%. So,
extremely busy. So much new construction throughout the state of Florida, just like you were mentioning. Mm-hmm. Shortages in tree material.
Shortages like crazy, guys. You guys have no clue. And then there's huge orders. There's like, hey, I need 10,000 of this. Oh, wonderful. All right. I'll let you know. Give me a day. I'll let you know what we find. And then you call the next day and half of it got sold, which is the reality, guys.
No, so it's true. So based on what you're saying, it's the truth. A lot of people agree. A lot of people are a little nervous in regards to some shortages in certain things. Mm-hmm. But it looks like it's going to be another interesting year.
It's definitely going to be an interesting year. 100% is going to be a very interesting year. It's going to be very exciting. There's going to be a lot of work to do, a lot of everything. Because what we do here is we grow, but we also source product. And we come through for everybody that calls. So that's really what it is. So now we put that pressure on ourselves to get it done. Right. And shine, and not just us shine, but allow you to shine and give you guys that confidence. So we have a lot of work to do. But I'm always up for the challenge, and that's what's exciting about spring. That's what's exciting about life at the end of the day. You never know what's going to happen. You wake up, you go outside, and what's going to happen today, I don't know, but you got to embrace it, think positive, and just enjoy it, man. We live one life. Right. We live one life, right. And you can't be attached to funds. You can't think a certain way forever. You got to broaden yourself. That's why you guys are listening to this. Right. To get something, like I said, and broaden, just the mindset. Yeah. Broaden the mindset. Right. I know if you have a clear mindset and you have a goal and you have the vision where you see and you understand, let's say what I'm talking about today, a bunch of you guys are going to, I know, will either DM or you'll call and be like, dude, I just made $100,000, which is what I want all of you guys to do. And that's what you can do in this industry. I know it sounds crazy, but you can, depending on what you're in and what market you're in this industry, but you can. And then from there, the crazy boom, guess what? Pots are going to sell. More people that do soil. So if you're in those type of industries, the chemicals, the fertilizers, you guys are going to do great as well. Right. Cater to your clients, guys. Do good work, do good business. You want to have a good reputation out there. There's people driving around with horrible reputations. They can't even go into a nursery. Their checks are no good. Jeez. For real. It's the reality. Right. And it's like, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy, because then everything I'm talking about today, you won't be able to. You'll have your hands cuffed behind your back on the sidewalk and you can't get up. You can't do nothing. Right. And you can fix that, but you got to have this much of an ego. You got to have a small ego, and you can fix that, because there might be someone listening. One of you guys might be listening that are in that predicament. Yeah. Fix it. How do you fix it? Shifting your mindset. Okay? Starting over. Humbling yourself. Walking up to the people that you did whatever to, that you owe whatever to, and making it right. That's all it takes. Yeah. That's what it takes. I don't want to say that story. That's what it takes. So, guys, I hope you learned something from today's episode. If you guys think that I'm completely crazy with what I'm talking about, I would love for you guys to go on Instagram. There's a photo promoting the episode on the Plant Movement podcast. I would love for you to go there. The question is going to be at the bottom. What do you think about 2023 spring? And I would love for you guys to engage and blow that up, because this is for us at the end of the day. If we get feedback from, and let's say there's 20 comments, because I don't want to go crazy, right? I know we don't have a lot of followers. We have 20 comments from 20 different people in the industry. That's going to give you a good prediction, of what everybody feels and what everybody thinks. It's true. In reality. So, guys, God bless you. Stay safe. Be hungry. Be vigilant. Keep your eyes open. Oh, yeah. And stay tuned, because we have a wonderful, beautiful lineup. I cannot wait to record all these podcasts with all different types of people in the industry. And I'm just excited. So let's go. God bless. Stay safe. Bye.
for listening to this edition of The Plant Movement. Willie and Eddie invite you to connect with them on Instagram at both The Plant Movement Podcast and A's Ornamental Nursery. Those links are in the show description. Please leave us a well-worded 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help others find the show. And remember to tap the follow button so that you'll be notified when the next edition of The Plant Movement is available.